real nice. Well,
I'm
cool.
right in downtown.
Yeah, I love it. It's still cold though. I got 48
Yeah.
today. Still
Hey, we're having a heat wave today.
Yeah, you know the Chicago humor.
But only today. It's gonna be snowing tomorrow.
I
So
saw that. I'm just waiting.
enjoy while you
Great.
can.
I agree. Well, awesome. Well, there's a bunch of people that will just kind of be coming in here and going. I know not everyone can stay, so that I'm gonna get going because I want to be cognizant of your guys' time. Thank you guys first off for coming. This is the 2023 Internet Marketing Plan, and really what we're going to discuss is how to maximize your lead flow in the new year. All right, so let's just quickly go over what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about goals a little bit and help you guys set some goals and targets that you guys need to hit. We're going to talk about the 3 fundamentals of marketing success. We're going to talk about optimization of your website. We're going to talk about the big picture about the different marketing channels you should be tapping in to maximize your lead flow. We're quickly going to talk some of the latest trends that we're seeing in 2023. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll be able to develop a custom action plan based on where you are now. So as far as this, for you guys, I probably don't need to tell you this, but like if you have cell phones on, we want to put them away, close Instagram, Facebook. We really just want to kind of set the frame here because it could really go one of 2 ways, right? I can go through 1,000 slides, I can click, you guys can pay attention, zone out. By the time you're bored, you don't get anything out of it. Or the new way is I share some information. I give you a little bit of work, not too much work. I'm gonna let some people know as they're coming in. You guys remain engaged and hopefully get a benefit out of this. So hopefully we can all agree number 2 is the way to go. So take a breath, quick twist, and then you can look at the screen and say, oh crap, I didn't realize this was going to be interactive. Don't worry, it's not going to be too much work. We'll get there for you. Okay, so if you stay to the end, and I kind of already told a few of you guys already, you don't have to necessarily stay to the end if you have patience. I'm going to be handing out a free marketing checklist, so I'll be giving you a link to that. And I'm also going to give you a buyer persona. On the marketing checklist, it's going to have everything you really need to do to get your online marketing going. And the buyer persona is going to relate to something we're talking about a little bit later about knowing exactly who your customer is. So both of those, I'll be giving you links to both of those at the end. All right, real quickly, who am I? Why should you listen to me? I've been in digital marketing since about 2007. I've had the opportunity to talk to many different aesthetic practices, med spas across the US. And I'm a bit of a self-proclaimed biohacker, so I have a lot of interest in wellness. So I love marketing and I practice wellness, so it's really a good fit on both sides. As far as Med Spa Portal, this is what we do. We work with med spas and we basically help them become the go-to resource in the area. All right, so first question, and this is open to anyone. What's the hardest part about marketing your guys' practice online so far? If anyone's willing to unmute and answer, I'd love to understand what's one of the hardest part you guys have seen for marketing so far.
Social media creators.
Okay, so dealing with them, meaning dealing with them or doing your own social media posts?
It's impossible to run practice and take pictures before and after properly with proper angles and lighting that really show the difference. Typically, injectors are too busy in between the patients to spend time to do so. And then lately, I've been in this business for 8 years and I worked with several social media creators, and typically these are very young people. They have a really good artistic skills, but then maybe they're taking too many assignments under their belt and stop showing up as they should in the clinic whenever the treatments need to be recorded. So this is what we're struggling as a franchise with 8 locations in Illinois, to find that good person, because we do have a big traffic from Instagram and even TikTok, but to find a person that will stay there and create good content, good flyers, that's what we are struggling with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, to be honest, we hear that a lot. And we can obviously talk about this, a little bit more depth. One thing we found is that good creators are not good photographers, and photographers are not good creators, right? What we found is that real estate, people that take images for real estate usually are great photogs, and they can come in and do the photo shooting for you, or sometimes video for you. Now, if you need someone on a regular basis, that probably needs to be someone at the practice, but setting up photo shoots can get you a wealth of content, and usually just hiring someone that, nowadays the real estate is not as hot as it used to be. They usually work really well, or sometimes finding local students as well. They're just a little bit unreliable. So we can talk a little about some more help on images, but I'm going to talk about images in here a little bit too, as well too. Anything else, Katie or Dave? Is there anything else you guys are struggling right now with? Nope, no problem. We'll keep going. Okay. So there is a workbook, and I don't know if you guys got a chance to download it. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. You guys can open up chats in there. I'm going to bring it up real quick so you guys can see it. So this workbook will help you guys follow along a little bit. Also, if you can't stay the whole time, or you get lost, or you have questions, this is a really great workbook for you guys to go through when you're done. And it really is going to go everything we're discussing and even into a little bit more depth. So I just put the link in the chat. Make sure you guys grab that, and I will send that out at the end of the meeting as well too. All right, let me quickly speak to the why. You guys need to talk about the 2023 internet marketing. So there's a lot of options out there. I'm sure, as you guys know, Alexandra already mentioned TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and a lot of people are really unclear on where to spend their budget. There's SEO, there's PPC, which stands for pay per click. That's Google Ads. You can spend money on your website, social media. There's a lot out there. We find that most med spas make a major investment in marketing. They pay for SEO, they get the hottest new website, they get the hottest new tool, and they don't have a lot to show for it. We hear this a lot, to be honest. Unfortunately, where we see the failing happening is people don't have a clear plan. So they either do one of two things. They overspend and they say, spend all this money, I paid this agency, they didn't do anything. Or, which we actually find is worse, people underspend and then they underperform. They say, hey, I ran Facebook ads and they don't work for me, right? So here's the opportunity we'd love to sell for. We want to make sure you guys have clear targets and goals with KPIs so that you can say, okay, this is exactly where I'm headed for the year. Here are my goals, and this is what I need to do to achieve those goals. So once you know your goals, we can figure out exactly how many leads you need to generate to keep a full book of scheduled appointments. Obviously, when you have a full book of scheduled appointments and you're running really good media, really good marketing, you can get a really good return on investment. So instead of saying, hey, I ran these ads, they didn't work, you can say, hey, I spent $5 and I made $10 in return, because that's pretty much what we want when it comes to marketing, right? All right, so in my mind, success is really maximizing your lead flow to hit your sales targets. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to exactly how many leads you're going to need to hit your targets. Does that sound good? I'm going to make sure you guys are still there. So if you want to put a 1 in the chat, let me know if that sounds good to you guys.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to talk about goals. We're going to move forward with getting clear on what you need to accomplish, right? And once you put clarity around that, you're going to see how you can really move forward with the rest of the steps. So quick analogy, without goals, it's almost like you're just kind of drifting in a current and you're just hoping you grow. And really what's going to happen is you're going to just end up wherever luck takes you, and probably at a pretty slow pace. The opposite of that is having clear goals. It's going to give you the momentum you need to get to where you want to be, kind of like the wind in your sails. There's a really cool Harvard study that you guys might be familiar with. Basically, there's a bunch of Harvard graduates, 84% didn't have goals, 13% had them, but didn't write them down. 3% wrote clear written goals down. And I'm sure, as you guys can guess, the 13% that had goals were earning on average twice as much as the people that didn't have goals. And what's really cool is the 3% who wrote down their goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the others. So what we're trying to say here is these are Harvard graduates. It's not about being smart. It's really about having a plan and setting your goals. So we're going to put together a little framework right now. And really at the minimum, you kind of want to have 1-year goals, quarterly goals, and monthly goals, but you don't have to write those all right now. So I want you guys to understand what your targets are. What's your revenue target is usually the first question we ask. And more importantly, how many leads or calls would that require? So I'm just going to give you a quick example here, and then I'll give you a sheet after this that you guys can use to look at your own targets. Let's just say you have a revenue target of $1.5 million. I realize some people are above that. I realize some people are below that. We break that down into monthly. That's about $125,000 per month. And then we look at your average transaction value. The average transaction value for most med spas is about $100, which you guys might think is a little low. I think it's a little low too, but that is what it is. So we said roughly, let's say your average transaction value is about $250. That requires about 500 clients per month in order to hit your goal. So how many leads would you need to achieve that number? All we do is look at how many clients you need, and we look at your conversion rate. And we're going to talk about conversion a little bit later. The average conversion rate when someone calls is about 65%. So we basically divide that by your clients, and we know that you need about 769 calls or 769 leads in order to convert 500 clients. So I have this target planner that we put together for you, really to make your life easier. It's a worksheet and it's Excel based. I'm going to put it in the chat right now so you guys can open it, and I'll open it too for you guys. Let me show you what that is. I'll click on it here. So what this does is you can come in here and say, make a copy. And this will open up in a second. And then once you have a copy of it, you could basically do whatever you want with it. You can come in here and put in your target revenue. So we originally used $1.5 million. Let's just say you have a different number. You want to add $100,000 just to your bottom line. So we know that's an extra $8,000 a month. You can put your average ticket in here. You might say, oh, you know what? I'm a higher average ticket. I'm at $350 on average. That lets us know you need about 25 clients per month to hit that goal or to add that $100,000. And you say, well, you know, I'm actually really good at sales. I close 9 out of every 10 people. So that puts you at 90%. We know you need about 26 leads coming in per month. And our average cost per lead is about $35. That's what we found. So, you know, your budget is going to be about almost $1,000. So you need about 26 leads per month. You know, you need to spend about $1,000 just if you're obviously doing yourself. So if you guys want, take a minute, you can kind of go through the sheet. I'm not going to, you know, spend too much time on it. And I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but this is for you guys to download, for you guys to have. So we want to be really clear on what your target is here. Okay. So as far as what your goals are for 23, I'd love to hear from anyone really what your guys' goals are. If you already have goals, if you've maybe looked at something now, is there a revenue goal you guys want to hit? Do you want to add from the bottom line? Is anyone willing to share any type of goals they have as far as revenue and leads at this point? Nope, no problem. It's fine. You guys can use the target sheet to kind of figure that out. And we're going to come back to this in towards the end as well too. Okay, awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the fundamentals now that we really need to ratchet up your guys' results in 2023. And I really think getting back to the basics is what we need to do. And the basics are your market, the message, and the media. So the first thing we need to do is be ultra clear on who your customer is. So then we can craft a message that speaks directly to that person. And then from there, your resonate is going to message much better. And also your clients are going to start trusting you more before they get to know you. So let's just spend a little time in your market message. I'll let a few people in the room here. Okay, so who is your ideal customer? This is one of the first things we need to get very clear on. And I mentioned at the beginning of this that if you guys stayed, I'm going to give you guys a really nice thought out customer buyer persona sheet that you guys can use. So the idea of any type of marketing, and I know this is really small, but I'll kind of get into it, is we want to ensure that our website, your guys' social posts, your videos, everything we can do that's going to be written is going to be resonating with your ideal customer. So in the workbook that I shared the link for, that's in the chat, you guys can download that, and it kind of runs through this, and you're going to see this target customer avatar. So I'm willing to bet some of you guys already know who your customers are, right? We know in this industry, it tends to be female. It tends to be, you know, on the low end 25, but more average, like the 35 to 54 average. But we really want you guys to drill down deeper. We want you to understand their pains, their frustrations, their fears, their goals, their aspirations. And the reason why we do that is because then we can market to them with messaging that they will understand. So take a look inside that planner. We can go over it another time if you want, and it really breaks down your customer avatar. And as I mentioned, there's stuff at the end I'm going to give you that basically will suss that out for you. So here is the reality of what we're saying. So if you can see Britta Jones through Britta Jones's eyes, then you can sell what Britta Jones buys. What does that mean? Basically, when the potential client reads any of your guys' messaging on social media, organic content, you want them to think, hey, they're speaking to me, they get me. And they also will think that you have the solution to their problems because you understand them. So when this happens and your messaging matches with your customer avatar, you're going to see a big spike in leads. You're going to be a big spike in calls. And also you're going to get more people that are going to convert opposed to just wasting your time, right? When they call and ask questions. So we're getting clear on our customer messaging. We're getting clear on customer demographics. Let's craft a little bit of a message here. So why should someone choose to do business with you versus a competition? This is something that's pretty important when it comes down to your messaging. Try to think of 2 or 3 reasons people choose you and what are the benefits that your buyer persona will resonate with. So you don't want to just do the typical look younger, feel better, we're licensed, we're certified. That's kind of what everyone does, but we really want to think about what are their problems, right? And we want to match those problems to their goals and their aspirations. So think about it for a few seconds and think about, why maybe someone would choose to do business with you versus a competition, or, what type of benefits do you offer that they resonate? I'm going to give you a few examples after this as well too. Okay, so some messaging that we found has been working, talking about flexible hours that fit your client's schedule. Why do we talk about this? Because we know that most of your customers are busy, either with kids or with family or with work. So offering that flexibility really resonates with them. Talking about straightforward pricing or upfront pricing and having any type of satisfaction guarantees. We want to start lowering those buying anxieties when someone doesn't know who you are. And that helps with that. So they're going to understand what they're dealing with. Also talking about trustworthy staff and experienced injectors. Again, we want to really lower the barrier to entry these people so they can start trusting you. Some messaging that we have seen that you can make the case for that you're speaking to. Safe and effective is a big one, but also personalized service. People want to know or feel like the service is personalized to them, regardless of what the procedure is. Obviously, high quality medical services. In the end, the person's not, a lot of people talk about the procedure, but they're really after the results, right? Visible, lasting results is what most people are really interested in, Nicole. We talked about flexible scheduling, but also with an exclusive experience, right? Again, people are after the experience as well as the results. And how do we do that? Well, in a comforting and relaxing environment as well, too. It's not always about the procedure. It's not always about the results. Sometimes it's about what they're going to experience and making sure they're comfort and relaxing. So what's your guys' message? It's going to be much easier to market your services if you know exactly who your customers are and really what messages to send them. So once you know this, you can find the best way to share your message. Okay, so we've talked a little about message. Once you guys, if I see Kat's driving, so I'm not going to ask you to do this, but put a why in the message if you guys are clear. You guys agree that the marketing and the message is an important part when marketing. All right, perfect. We'll keep going here. Okay, so now let's look at media a little bit and think about where our customers go when they need our services. So we really want to make sure that your hub converts. What is your hub? Your hub is your website, right? Or your home base, really. So everyone's going to land on your website, regardless if they saw an ad, if they hear, from you from a friend, or they're just walking by possibly your storefront. Your potential clients are going to go to your website to get a sense of who you are, what you're about, and if they want to do business with you. So we want to make sure that not only does your website look nice, but it's built to convert. So when I say built to convert, what does that mean? There's an example here on the slide of a few things that we look for. Is there an easy way for them to contact you, or an easy way to book right off the bat, usually in the upper right-hand corner? Is there a phone number?
I know the spa.
You know Radiant?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, they're in Naperville.
Yes, I know exactly where they are. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's good to have some.
And I did look at their website, and I was like, wow, they kind of like, I like how they showing their stuff. This is already building like the trust between the client. You can see talking to them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what we're trying to do. The trust factor is huge. So obviously someone has to trust you, but when they get to your site, they also have to be able to do what they want to do. And, we help people with this, but we got to make sure the messaging is important. So you need to know exactly who you are and what you do right when you see that. A lot of people put all these flashy images and it's all cluttered. It needs to be really clean, uncluttered. Sometimes putting the company mission statement in, but also it's as simple as like having your phone number right there is super important as well too. We're going to break down a little bit of this more, but I just wanted to give you just a few examples of meaning how can you make your site convert. So this is a pretty long list of things to do, and in the marketing checklist that I'm going to give you guys, I'm also going to include a lot of this. So you don't have to memorize it now, but things like, is your customer speaking directly to the target avatar, right? That persona that we've already developed. Does it have authentic images? This is something Alexandra talked about. Imagery is a really big thing. We find in your guys' industry, in the med spa industry, stock photos everywhere because people just don't have the right images, right? So getting authentic images, if that means getting a photo shoot from the local real estate agent or maybe even a student that's in photography, really makes a big difference. Do you guys have any type of videos, right? There should be some type of welcome video or a video for some services. We do find when we run ads, the video of showing your service gets more clicks and more conversions than anything. Now you have to be a little careful with that because you can't show what's called sensational content on some things, on some channels, but it is really important. Online reviews is another thing. You should have your online reviews on your homepage. If you're not actively getting reviews now, you want to make sure you're getting those not only for search engine optimization, but display those. Those are the trust factors that everyone's looking for, right? Sometimes they'll go to Yelp, sometimes they won't. Sometimes the user will go to Google, sometimes they won't. They need to be on your homepage so they can say, okay, a bunch of reviews, I trust them, I'm going to move forward with that. And then there's the basics, right? Phone number in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure there's a web form for them to fill out. Make sure you guys have any credibility or authority symbols, any certifications you guys have, any awards you won, any publications you've been in. Put that on the homepage. People need to see that stuff. Something we're going to hit on a few times too is chat. If you guys don't have live chat on your site, that's probably one of the biggest trends we're seeing now. It's very easy to do. It's free. There's a company out there called Tidio, TIDIO.com. If you have a WordPress site, you literally just load it up. That goes just to someone's phone. When someone chats to you, goes right to your phone. You can just talk to them like you're on the phone. That's another huge one that we're seeing are really increasing conversion rates. All right, so I'd love to pull up one of your guys' websites right now, if you don't mind, and maybe just take a quick look if you're willing. Maybe you have a great website, maybe you don't, but we can take 2 seconds, just kind of see what type of conversion elements you guys have or you don't. Is anyone willing to pop their website in the chat or let me know? We can take a quick look at it.
Popping right now.
All right. I've seen your site before, Alexandra. It's a good site. Thanks for sharing. Okay. So in general, this is actually a good example to show because it's really showing what we're trying to go after, right? We are the best medical spa in Chicago. I love that. Right off the bat, it tells you who they are and it has a get started. I just want to see where get started goes. Perfect. Brings you right to your
for some reason, video didn't load.
Oh, there it is. It's loading now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be just because I've got a lot of things going on. Would love to see a phone number. That would be great in the upper right-hand corner. Let's go down a little bit more. Perfect. You've got some images in here. You get right into your services. Love to see that. I see an accessibility here. Maybe some chat. Oh, here's your reviews. All right, you're probably feeling good when I was talking about reviews here. You have your map. That's awesome. Overall, I would say pretty good here. There's always a way to change design, but we're kind of looking more for conversion elements. And I say in general, you have a lot of the basics there. That's great. Looks like Dave popped one in here. Let's take a look at Dave's site as well too. All right, you guys have really nice videos. All right, right at the front, I love it. So right here, Dave, Dave's got his phone number. He's got a way to schedule an appointment. He's got live chat. So Dave's on top of his game for sure. Beautiful photos here. I see all of your services. One thing we love to see is individual service pages, which I see you have here, Dave. The reason why we like that is not only because you need individual service pages for your customer, but from an SEO standpoint, you're going to be able to rank much better. A lot of med spas will put all their stuff just directly on one page, all their services. Google does not love that. So that's awesome. We have, we're inclusive here. You have your form. Yeah, great job, Dave. I see your reviews. If you did your website, great. If someone did it for you, awesome. There's always different ways. This is another huge thing, the Instagram feeds. If you guys don't have your Instagram feeds on there, it's very easy to do. It's just a simple plugin. And then whatever you post on Instagram comes in live. And then when people keep coming to your site, it's fresh content. So overall, it's great. You guys work with Dr. Logic, right? They know what they're doing. I'm aware of them. So overall, good stuff to see here, guys. Dave, you even have an announcement banner, which I love. Announcement banner is this part at the top, which you can just change real quickly and put any specials you guys are running, any announcements, things like that. So awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate, showing stuff there. And honestly, both good websites. Okay, so I'm going to slightly pivot here. We talked about your websites. We talked about the marketing message. However, what I really think is the biggest challenge most med spas face isn't that they aren't getting enough leads. It's that they're not converting the leads that they have. And here's why I believe that's the case. So about 50 to 60% of inbound leads that come in leave unconverted. And about 90% of the forms that people get fail to convert. So here's why. If leads are not followed up within 15 minutes, they go cold. And that's not that long of a time. Someone could literally send something in here with a patient, it could be 30 to an hour, right? The average customer also needs to be followed up around 5 to 7 times before a single booking. And today's consumers prefer to interact for text or with text instead of a phone call or an email. Here's the solution to that. We really need to leverage something called marketing automation to follow up with any lead that comes in. So that's web forms, phone, email, text message. And ideally, it really needs to be done within the first 2 minutes. So there needs to be a system set up where when anyone fills out a form or text, or really does anything to interact with you, automatic message goes out to them. And not only that, but there needs to be automation set up so that you hit them with a message about at least 5 more times after that over the course of 5 days. I can't tell you how many times we have clients where they get a bunch of leads. The lead says, I'm interested. They don't say anything. And then 5 days later, they come back and say, oh yeah, I am interested in service, when you think they're gone. People are busy. They have a lot going on. Sometimes they'll do it at night when they're not, sometimes they're at work. So, being able to call people and stuff like that is not really the ideal situation. We want to set up a system that does that. Here's some simple math that just further explains what I'm going over. If you guys get 100 leads and you're only converting about 30%, which the average person does, average ticket price is $250, you're looking at about, $7,000, $8,000. If you take those same 100 leads, you up your conversion rate, usually through some type of automated follow-up system, and you get to 70%, now you're looking at about $17,000, $18,000. Same amount of leads, increasing your conversion rate is really going to increase your bottom line. So how do we implement this into your business? But this is an example of a funnel utilizing automation that takes leads from the inquiry and then follows up with text messages, something called the voicemail drop emails, and then nurtures them down the funnel to increase their chance of converting. There's a lot of systems out there that do this. Maybe you guys are using some. We use one in particular called High Level. But it doesn't really matter what system you use. We just want to make sure you have some type of automation to convert and nurture your leads as they come in. If you guys have questions on automation, I'm more than happy to help you on that. Or if you have questions on what system works, High Level is really a great one that works well for MedSpas. Okay, so what are some of the key conversion elements that you can implement now on your website to maximize your conversion rate? You guys can think about this a little bit. We've already seen 2 of the websites where you guys are doing well. The 3 that we see, are the biggest are live chat, which we mentioned, lead automation. So anytime someone calls, texts, sends in a form, they automatically get followed up with and nurtured. And then also just being really clear on your call to action on your homepage. So it's when someone comes and you know exactly who you are, what they do, and how can they get a hold of you or see your services right away. All right, so are there any questions at this point? I know we've kind of gone over a few different things. I just want to take at least a second to see, do you guys have any questions, specific to your guys' med spa or anything that we've gone over yet? No? Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure you guys know your numbers. We have a website that's built to convert and speaks directly to your customer. And now we have a process in place to hopefully help maximize those lead flows. The next thing we want to start doing before we add search engine optimization, pay per ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, is you guys need to understand what your numbers are. So here's an example dashboard that lets us know how much we spent and how many leads are coming in from what channel. You can just quickly see there's 513 leads. About $7,500 of spent investment getting those leads. That comes to about a $15 average cost per lead. And then from here, you can see how many organic calls came in. That means people just calling you, from the website. How many came in from PPC? So that'd be Google Ads, people calling you. How many came from people that saw you on the map? And then, you had 22 web forms that came in for 513 total leads. So you don't need anything crazy, and this can be done through Google Analytics. If you guys don't have Google Analytics on your website, I highly recommend you guys add that. Again, it's free, and it doesn't have to be fancy, but there needs to be some type of tracking, some type of dashboard so you can understand where your leads are coming in, what's working, not working, and how much you guys are spending. Okay, so let's just quickly review. We've gone over clear goals and targets for 2023. We've talked about clarity around your market, message, and media. We've made sure your website is optimized for conversion, and we've set up a simple KPI tracking dashboard. So let's pivot for a second, talk about the key trends. We have mentioned some of these already, but what we've noticed the biggest key trends in the industry right now is the shift from phone conversations to message conversations. This has been going on in the world in general, but we just see that people just don't want to talk on the phone anymore, even if they say they're interested. So there has to be some way for you guys to have message conversations. If you have an automation system, a lead automation system in there, you usually can text back and forth. Your text chat, live chat on your website also allows you to text back and forth. That's a big one we've seen in the last couple of years. Another one is the all-in perspective. A lot of times we find that people say, hey, I ran some TikTok ads, I ran some Facebook ads, it just didn't work. It didn't work for me. I have someone that's doing PPC, but it's just not working. Typically, the reason why is because everything works together, right? You need to be posting on social. You need to be running, hopefully, some type of advertising, if that's pay-per-click or social ads. And then you need to have your SEO dialed in, which includes your website and, you know, making sure you're showing up in the rankings. Those all work together synergistically, right? If you try to piecemeal them together, it's not that they can't work, but they just don't work as well. There needs to be an all-in perspective. And one of the other key trends we talked about is the website live chat. We've already talked about that, so I don't need to get too much into it, but if you guys don't have that, add it to your site now. Tidio.com is a great one. And there's a lot of other just free services out there. HubSpot has one that you can start with live chat on your website ASAP and free. Okay, so we can build your plan now. That's kind of what our goal is here. Sorry, was there a question?
Yeah. So actually, is it Dave? So I was just wondering on the back to the live chat. Our live chat, you know, is pretty dumb. You know, it's you know, I mean, it doesn't. You know, it's people who aren't in our spa. You know, we don't have our people working at, you know, answering stuff at 11 o'clock at night, and so we get you know, relatively dumb responses. You know,
Okay.
because our agent does, you know, understandably doesn't know much about us. Any thoughts on how do we handle that?
Are you saying dumb responses, meaning you're getting dumb questions, or the person that's responding post hours is not doesn't know who you guys are, so not giving good answers?
Yeah, the answer. I mean, they get the, you know, they try to get the contact information, which is, you know, the number one thing, of course.
Sure.
But there's not really a lot specific about our business, and, you know, it's just the way it is.
Got it. Okay. So two things I would recommend. Number one, live chat can also be turned on and off for certain hours. So what you can do is when someone is there manning it, maybe yourself or someone that can actually answer it, you can turn it on. When it's off, it can turn into what's called a chat bot. And the chat bot will kind of use a little bit of AI to try to answer questions, but you can just kind of give an FAQ. So if someone says, hey, what's your phone number? It will be able to respond. Say, hey, what are directions to your place? They'll be respond. Hey, do you offer hydrofacials? And they'll give you a list to the services. You can take the live chat to the next level and build a little bit of chatbot, and that will help as well for two. And then you just kind of keep the live chat open when someone who can actually respond can respond. Does that help? Have you guys looked into that at all?
That's actually a good point. So if I guess I have to look at if the chat service that I use, if I could just give them an FAQ and so they would just respond with FAQ answers, I guess. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, they can do that. And I'm sure you guys have heard, you know, AI and ChatGPT and all that great stuff that's out right now. Like that's coming now where it will just take your FAQs, take your website, and it will just answer for you. So that's not that far off, but you can do what you're doing now too, where you can just say, it just gets triggered. So if someone says, you know, facial, it knows the word facial and it says, okay, I'm going to bring you to service pages, or I can bring you to the facial pages. So that can be programmed in relatively easy. It's, you know, it takes a little bit of time. You probably want someone to do that for you, but it can be done. So hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. How long do you think it would take for that ChatGPT is, you know, it seems like it's moving like a rocket ship, you know?
It's already here. It's already, if you guys don't know, we're talking about ChatGPT is the AI that you can basically just talk to, and it has information from the last couple of years, and it's amazing what it can do. If you guys are, sorry, Dave, to answer your question, it's already here and they're building it into chatbots. It's just getting access to like your website really. So it's not exactly built for your website, but people can customize it for your website. And I'm talking in the planner, I'm going to give you guys some stuff that you can post on social media. I'm going to give you guys some stuff that you can post on an email. But I just made a video about this. If you're not using ChatGPT right now, check it out. It's chatgpt.com. It's free. You can literally say, hey, please give me an idea of medical spa social posts for the next couple months, and it will just give them to you. And it's amazing. So
I was playing with this. It's fantastic, actually.
Isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's changing the game, because what's happening is it's no longer hard to come up with the content. Now you have to just do a good job of getting the content out or being different. So I'm glad you guys are on.
It's funny because I actually typed our name and it pulled out all the information from our from what we do, but it wasn't just copy paste from our website. The wordage was different, but it was saying what Skinovatio franchise is. So I was amazed by that.
It's amazing. It's almost a little scary how good it is.
Yes, I was creeped out.
Yeah, if you use it for good, it's amazing. So I know you're saying you guys are trying to find social posters and stuff. They're already building AI or, you know, automated intelligence into posting. So there's places like Publer, High Level has this where they'll literally write your posts for you, right? Now they're not perfect, but they'll write you for you. You can look at it, just edit them, make sure they're legit, maybe throw a special in, and you're done. So it's getting really good out there. All right, so let's just talk about building your guys' plan. So let's talk about what your plan is for 2023. This is a graphic we put in a lot of our stuff, just kind of showing you really what we can look at from a marketing perspective. So new website, search engine optimization, Google Ads, marketing automation, retargeting, social media management, paid ads, and lead conversion is really kind of the all-in game. We want to help you guys kind of build your custom plan here. So I'm going to put the workbook link in one more time because I don't want you guys to forget about this. And of course, I'll send it out to you. When you guys have time, I'd love for you to just kind of go through it and just kind of answer some of the questions and figure out what you guys really need to work on. Do you need to get more clear on your goals? Do you need to get more clear on your buyer persona? There's some examples here on what you can add to your actual website. We talk a little bit about, your KPIs. I'm also going to give you guys this checklist that's going to literally say, is there a phone number in your right-hand corner? Are you using authentic images? And you can go one by one through it. So we're not going to go through it now, but if you want to stay on after, have questions after, I'm more than happy to help you out. Also, I want to make sure you guys have this target planner. So I'm going to put this in here as well. This was that same worksheet where you guys can go through and figure out exactly how many leads you need, exactly how many revenue you need. This works really good in the beginning of the year. So you can understand what your revenue is and how many leads you need to get. And I'm going to show you a few more things on here since you guys stayed on. Once you guys put your target revenue in here, there's a budget allocation in here that will already fill in. So it can tell you exactly how much you need to allocate, to PPC, to display, to SEO. So if you're already doing this, you can say, am I on target, right? If you're not doing it, you can understand what you would need and how much you need to spend for those budgets. We do put a little average cost per lead in here, just to give you guys a rough idea in case you don't know what it is. This is what we see in general. The average ticket price is about $100, which I know most people say is low, but that's what it is. And then the blended average is probably around $28 to $35 per lead, depending on if you're running PPC, Facebook, repeat referrals, and brand. Two other little bonuses I threw in here that we're not going to really talk about, but are in here for you. Here's the marketing calendar. So January through December, we have something that you can send out every month for your email. If you guys are not doing email, if you are, here's some ideas. And we have a social post that you can write about that are connected to things going on to the month, but also, connected to med spas. And we also put some specials in here. I'm sure you guys have some of this already, but in general, if you guys are struggling for a special or want to do something, there's a few little cheat sheet guides in here for you. All right. So as far as your top 3 marketing initiatives, I hope you can walk away with a few things, by now. If you don't know anything by now, I failed you, but hopefully there's a few things you said, okay, these are a few things I need to work on for 2023. You guys don't have to list them out, but this is, a few things you could walk away with, hopefully. And then I'd love to hear any takeaways, anything you've learned, anything you noticed. Is there anything you guys like to share, or any questions at this point that you guys have over things you covered? Are these things you guys are aware of? Is there anything that you haven't thought of before that maybe was new to you?
Oversaturation of the med spa market, and literally you have to stand on your eyelashes in order to stand out from competition. In Chicago, on the Lincoln Park location where we had our second location when we first started 8 years ago, there are 3 med spas in a radius of 1 mile. Currently there's about 9, which in that 1 mile distance. So you really have to stand out, and it seems like, the trend right now, it's all about TikTok and Instagram Reels, and but everybody is doing it. And we currently working with the company, up on this webinar today, just to see if you have a different approach, to the marketing. But it just seems like everybody's doing the same thing. So how to stand out from everybody else?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, and obviously I'm from Chicago, so I understand there's a med spa literally on every.
There's a med spa on every, it's like a nail salon at this point.
Yeah, it's true. So I think it really depends on where you are. You're obviously more established, right? So where you are to stand out compared to what someone else that's just starting to stand out. Someone else starting out might use the dreaded Groupon, right? Because they're just trying to get people through the door. At this point, I mean, I think what you should focus on, not only just new customer, but also nurturing the customers that you already have. I think a lot of people miss out on that area where they're just like, I'm going after new, I'm sending out reels, I'm just trying to get new customers, but they're not actually nurturing and really taking care of the customers they have now. So reactivation emails. I don't know how large your email database is, but there should be emails that are going out to that are segmented to people that are already customers, offering them VIP specials, different deals than people that are new customers, right? Obviously, new customers get new deals. So really nurturing and caring and segmenting your client base now, because you guys are going to win out on service. You guys are going to win out on referrals, right? It's not necessarily you're just trying to keep the doors open. As far as what channels to do that on, well, as you said, everyone has the same channels, right? We're all using the same thing. I think making sure, especially in Chicago, making sure you have a super strong local presence with SEO is important. And when I say local presence, if I put something like just like pizza near me, what you want to make sure is you're ranking for all your services in this Google Map Pack. And I can help you, Alexander, if you want to, send me an email or email after this. I'll show you where your rankings are for all your services. And if you're not ranking in that map pack for your local services, that's one area you're going to win out, because the reason why you rank here is proximity, right? So like, I know if you're in, Lincoln Park or Ukrainian Village, like someone that's downtown, you're going to rank different than someone in Ukrainian Village because of how close the person is that's searching for you. So you have to win out in this Google Map Pack through SEO. And if you do, that's one way you're going to at least stick out as far as marketing. Does that help at all?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I would love to help. No, yeah, sure. Dave, send me an email, or I'm going to follow up with you guys. What I'll do is I'll put together a report and I'll show you guys where you're ranking for each of your services, not only organically, meaning Google, but also in this map pack. And really the map pack is the name of the game here, because people will in Chicago, they're only going to go a couple blocks, but in different cities, they're only going to go a couple miles, right? They're going to go to the closest med spa, unless the med spa has terrible reviews. So you want to make sure if someone's looking for your service, not just the name med spa, but, hydrofacial, body contouring, cellulite removal, or actual things like PRP, like if they're saying the procedure name, you need to show up for that, right? And we find that not everyone does, and that can be fixed by optimizing your website. So, okay, great. Was there any other questions or anything else, any other takeaways or anything you guys wanted to ask?
Dave, where are you located, if you mind me asking?
Dave, you're muted, by the way, if you can't.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it just took me a second to find my mute button. Yeah, so I'm in Wayland, Massachusetts. So just western, slightly west of Boston. It's a fairly affluent.
I'm just curious, how is the med spa market out there? Because in Chicago, with recent 2 years, it's been just crazy amount of new med spas opening on every corner. Is this the trend in Massachusetts as well?
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh God. Okay. Sorry.
No, they're coming all the time. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you could look at that as a positive too, right? Because if they're opening, there's
more need for it.
Yeah, there's a need for it. And obviously, with this Instagram world now, looks are important. Feeling good and looking good is important. But really the fact that you guys are even here and looking to figure out how to market better, you guys are like ahead of 90% of the game. We talk to most med spas, they either have no one that's working the marketing, or, you talk to maybe the doctor and they have no idea what's even going on. So while there are a lot opening up, there's going to be a lot closing too, because like you said, it's getting saturated and only really the best marketers are going to win.
Well, our issue is that we're spending hefty amount of money for marketing every month in between social media and SEO and PPC. And then the clients that actually go into our website and becoming you can monetize that. That's the numbers that need to change. So I'm not sure. That's why I was curious, like, how can we do things different? Maybe the company that we've been in, they don't do something different, but every month that we have review call, they saying that our numbers looking great. I'm like, it looks great on the paper, but I did not get the client in the clinic and she did not buy that filler. So
Got it. Well, I'll tell you what, let me take a look at what you guys are doing.
Okay.
We do free audits, and you're in Chicago, so I'm more than happy to help anyone, to be honest.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah. So what I can do is then we could talk another time, but we'll look at what you're doing. I'll go through what we do. Maybe you can send me some reports. Because I understand, I know the game, I know the numbers game and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It could be a few little tweaks. It's it takes time and it takes money, but it could be a few tweaks on that conversion side. Are you guys using any type of lead automation to follow up? Like when a lead comes in, do you have a system?
So yes, we work with the social media person that takes care of our Facebook ads, and she's sending.
I think you muted real quick.
My phone just rang, and she's providing us all the leads of people that left their phone number, procedure that are interested in, and the email. And then our front desk coordinator has to follow up and do at least 4 touches of each person. If they don't pick up, we're trying to text them or send an email. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. It's great you guys doing that. There might be a system that you guys can implement that will do that automatically for you and faster.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, and then what happens is, because there's a lot of dead leads. That's just the way it is. But
Lots of
you're not-
window shoppers.
Yeah, tire kickers. I use the word tire kickers on window shoppers. But what happens is, by using that lead automation, what happens is the leads come in, lead automation takes care of it. Then when someone actually responds, then the front desk gets triggered. So they're
Gotcha.
only talking to someone that responds, right? And number one, it's going to free them up, but also, you know, you're just going to be able to convert a little more. Plus, it will continue to hit them consistently for, you know, it could be a year if you really want, but usually you hit them for 5 to 7 days, and then you put them into your email nurture system, which it does automatically. Then you're hitting them with emails, and then maybe they hit you in 6 months, but there needs to be a system there.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Just let me know. We'll schedule time, and I can even just like do an audit for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Perfect. So realistically, here's what we covered. We talked about the goals, how many leads you really need to hit your target. We talked about the fundamentals. We talked a little bit about optimizing your website. We talked about the latest trend, including that marketing automation, which we just talked about, Alexandra. And then hopefully gave you a few tools to kind of develop a custom plan based on where you are now. 2 things that I promised I was going to give you guys right here are these links. So here's the buyer persona. I'm going to put this in chat. And this is just a really detailed look at how we kind of look at people. So then you can match your messaging to it. You can match your ads to it. Even if you have a social media person or an ad buyer, someone's buying ads for you on Facebook, just give them this. And just say, hey, are we talking to people? Is this what we're doing? Are we talking to pain points, not just talking about procedures or deals, things like that? And the other thing is your checklist. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well too. This checklist right here, I'm just going to open up real quick. This is a good way to, if you guys are in charge of your website, to just go through and make sure you've hit all of these. If you have someone that's working on it, give this to them and just say, hey, can you go and look at this real quick and just make sure we're doing all this? And if we're not, can you start doing it? If you guys start, you know, dialing some of this in, I think you're going to probably see your leads go up quickly. Yeah, that's really it, guys. Here's my information. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully I was able to help. I'm going to put this link in the chat as well too. This is, if you guys ever just need to talk, I have recommendation sessions that we do where we can just kind of take a look at what you need to do. And Alexandra, Dave, Kat, whatever you guys need, just let me know. We'll just go through and we can audit stuff and we can, you know, help you on a lot of these things. And then also, this is my phone number. This goes directly to me. If you guys have questions or you just need some advice or something like that, more than happy to help out. Just hit me up anytime. And that's it, guys. I appreciate your guys' time. Hopefully you learned a little bit something from this, and I'll follow up with you guys as well if you have more questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Good
You're
stuff.
welcome, guys. Nice talking to everyone.
Okay.
Bye.